I've said this many times, and I really do believe it. I don't think anybody should be in an elected office unless they've actually worked in the private sector and worked in commission only and lost their job at least once through no fault of their own. This is the worst run business that anybody could possibly imagine. And all these things we're talking about, the Biden administration, Trump administration, we're going to go back and forth about whose fault is it for not having any oversight. So if anybody sitting here in the dais today or who sits in the House with us today could look and say, okay, I'm telling you what, it depends who's sitting in the big seat, and that's who we're going to go after. So Medicare loses $60 billion annually to waste, fraud, and abuse. We keep going over this waste, fraud, and abuse, waste, fraud, and abuse. This is the only business in the world that there's no penalty for waste, fraud, and abuse. I'm an automobile dealer. We have something similar to Medicare and Medicaid. It's called warranty. In our dealership, people from General Motors, Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, they come in every month to look at repair orders. There were warranty claims for which we did the work, we put the parts on, but the manufacturer paid us back to do that work. When these people come into your dealership to look at these things, if they find that you didn't do the work that you put on there or you didn't put the parts on, you're in danger of losing your franchise. This is the only place in the world I know you can do things that are wrong all the time, and depending on who's in what seat, you know, it just depends whose bull's getting gored as to whether we get excited about it or not. This has been going on for so long. It's almost like, yeah, well, you know, you just got to expect that, you know, and only an outfit that's $39 trillion in the red would accept that type of a principle. You all came here today, you left your private lives to come here. I'm fascinated sometimes by the questions that go back and forth. So who's to blame? All of us. All of us. This isn't something that just started with the Biden administration or the Trump administration, whether you start with the first Trump administration or the second Trump administration. I wish politicians would quit being politicians and start being people who actually look at things of who's really getting hurt on this, and these are taxpayers. These are taxpayers. $39 trillion debt? And we're looking at a system that has so much fraud in it, and it's like, yeah, but you got to understand it's not just blue states, it's also some of those red states. Let's just face this whole program is so fraud. There's so much fraud in it. So I just ask each of you, Ms. Yanni, starting with you, what do you think we should be doing today? I know it's nice to have a hearing and to stand up here and hopefully some newspaper will get a hold of you or so get some little bit of news, or you can stand on the front steps of the Capitol and say, if it's up to me, I'm going to stop it. I've been here since 2011. I haven't seen us do anything to stop it. So, Dr. Yanni, starting with you, you're in the business. Tell us, what should we be doing, and who should be held accountable? And when they're held accountable, should they actually be held accountable?
I definitely think people who are being fraudulent and hurting other people accordingly should be punished, or there should be consequences established that not only deal with removing them from the system, but also re-establish some kind of benefit for the beneficiaries that have been harmed on a financial level potentially. Beyond that, I think a really important step in the process might be to shore up the boards that are governing the NPIs and allow them to take action much more readily in the context of being able to withdraw that NPI number as being valid so it won't ever go into a situation where somebody's being defrauded. Lastly, I think if they allowed themselves to connect the dots between the front portion of Medicare, the part that we deal with as beneficiaries, and the back office, that would be very beneficial and probably easy to accomplish, because every time I spoke to an agent who was very empathic and understanding, they could not give me any information about what was happening, what was the status of my claim, what was going on. So those are small changes on a very sort of minimal level that I hope would make a significant difference. And I agree 100% that it has to be a process of no blame, just working together to identify possible solutions that we all can agree on, and then create a mechanism to achieve them.
Well, we're going to run out of time, but I couldn't agree more with all of you. You know, we talk about who's responsible for this. The answer is all of us. We're all responsible for it. I can't believe that, well, you couldn't do it in the private sector, right? Nobody could be $39 trillion in the red and feeling good about it. I appreciate you all coming in today and what you go through. It must be really difficult to go up and go to work every day and know that your whole day is going to be spent on trying to find out how much fraud is out there. and who's actually picking up the tab on it. And the answer is hardworking American taxpayers. I think that's the saddest part of it all. It's not a Republican problem or a Democrat problem, an independent, or whatever the heck you want to identify as today. But it is the American taxpayer that's funding all of this fraud, and it is absolutely criminal that we've allowed it to go on this long and say, well, if we get in office, we're going to fix it. And you know, in maybe slightly less than a year right now, we could have a complete change of what goes on up here. And all of a sudden, what was important then is no longer important now. But we'll get to it sometime. This getting to it is absolutely disastrous. In the private sector, it means you go out of business. I don't know of anybody who should be sitting in this dais and being comfortable with the direction the United States of America is going and the fraud that's taking place, and it's responsible, held responsible by the people who actually fund it all, and that's taxpayers. Thanks so much.